Hi there. So yes, today we will discuss this particular question. Okay, so here it is. It has been asked that components of inner Waldeyer's ring include which of the following. So it is actually a multiple choice type, right? So what are the components of the Waldeyer's ring? So you understood that today's topic of discussion will be your Waldeyer's ring, right? So I will discuss with you about Waldeyer ring first, and then we will come back to the question to see the components and the answers as well, right? So let's discuss about Waldeyer ring. Waldeyer ring, right? So I will draw a schematic diagram that will help you to memorize things, right? Okay. So I need a fresh page. Yes, I hope you will be drawing along with me. Yes, correct. All right. So yes. Okay, so this is just a schematic view, just an illustration for you to understand, right? Okay, so I will start from here, like this one. What I am leveling is your nasal cavity, right? So this one is your nasal cavity, this one is your paranasal aperture, right? Paranasal aperture. So yeah, so this one is your sphenoid bone, right? Now this one you already understood. This one is your palate, correct? And yes, now we will, okay, one thing is missed here, right? Okay, now I will come back to the topic, right? See, now you know that this part is your nasopharynx, correct? And from palate onwards, from palate to your, here is your epiglottis, right? So from palate to epiglottis, this part is your oropharynx, correct? And from epiglottis to your C6 vertebra is your laryngopharynx. These things you know, right? Now coming to our topic about this one, lymphoid tissues in your lymphoid tissues and Waldeyer's ring, right? So I will take red here, right? See, now here what I am drawing right now in this, yes, this is your nasopharyngeal tonsil, right? So what is this? This is actually a lymphoid tissue, or I can say lymphoid aggregate. Better to say lymphoid tissue, right? This is a lymphoid tissue in just above the nasopharynx, right? And what is the lining epithelium? It is similar to respiratory epithelium, which is your pseudo stratified columnar, yes, epithelium, pseudo stratified columnar epithelium, right? So this is your nasopharyngeal tonsil, right? Above this, just behind this sphenoid bone here, this is your Rathke's pouch, there is an applied here that in Rathke's pouch often there develops craniopharyngioma, right? Craniopharyngioma in child, that presents a suprasellar calcification, right? So this is your applied portion. It happens in your Rathke's pouch, right? Craniopharyngioma. Okay. So first we saw this is nasopharyngeal tonsil, right? We saw that first. Now here, yes, in this portion there often there is a tubal elevation, right? Tubal elevation, or we can say tubal tonsil, correct? So another lymphoid tissue, correct? Now there are lymphoid tissues, let me draw a palette for you, palette and tongue, so that I can show you the lymphoid tissues over there, right? So if this is your palette, this is your tongue. In tongue, this is your posterior 1/3 and this is your anterior 2/3. Now in your posterior 1/3 of the tongue, we will also see your lymphoid tissue, right? And this is known as your lingual tonsil. So as for now, we saw nasopharyngeal tonsil, tubal tonsil, lingual tonsil, correct? Now moving on, there are two arches also. This is your palatopharyngeal arch, right? Palatoglossal arch, palatopharyngeal arch, palatoglossal arch, right? And this fossa is your tonsillar fossa. Now in tonsillar fossa also there are lymphoid aggregates both sides. This is known as your palatine tonsil, right? So these are your lymphoid tissues that together, all of them together form lymphoid aggregates, and if we draw a ring or if we draw a circle like this, all these lymphoid tissues form aggregates in a ring pattern that can be described as Waldeyer's ring. So if we put this all lymphoid tissues in a ring format, it will come here. It is your nasopharyngeal tonsil, correct? And there is your tubal tonsil, right? This is your palatine tonsil, correct? This is your lingual tonsil. See, all these lymphoid aggregates are forming a ring pattern, which is known as Waldeyer's ring. Now, what is the function of these lymphoid aggregates? So this is also important, that these lymphoid aggregates actually, they are these checkpoints, or I can say they form the defense mechanism or defense barrier in both. See, there is your tonsil there, then in the oropharynx there is a lingual tonsil, right? In the nasal cavity, nasopharyngeal tonsils. So all these lymphoid tissues, they form a strong defense mechanism to prevent or to give a barrier to the infections, right? So that the infectious agent cannot enter easily, right? So they form a defense mechanism in both oral and nasal cavities, right? So this is all about your Waldeyer's ring and its components. So components include nasopharyngeal tonsil, tubal tonsil, palatine tonsil, lingual tonsil, right? All this. So let's go back to the question now. So that they asked that components of inner Waldeyer's ring include, of course, we saw now that tubal tonsil is there, nasopharyngeal tonsil is there, lingual tonsil also is there, but not these two, right? No jugulodigestium, no jugulomoid. These are neck nodes, right? In your triangles of the neck that we will discuss in some other slides. So yes, these three structures definitely are parts of your Waldeyer's ring. So I think now Waldeyer's ring will be easy for you, right? So thank you for joining. Okay.